Hey everyone, welcome to part 2 of our beginner's guide to cruising. So this video is going to take you through a few more things that even as an experienced cruiser, maybe things we forget or we just fall into our routines and we kind of misplace these thoughts of things that we should know about cruising. So whether you're a brand new cruiser or an experienced cruiser, there's always a few tips here that you can figure out. Again, this isn't a completely comprehensive list. It's just a guide for you to kind of get into cruising, understand it a little more, and make better decisions about your cruise vacation. If you missed part 1, you could check it out right here and also be linked in our Start Here playlist in the description. So let's go get into it. Hey everyone, John here from Byte Size Cruises. Welcome back to part 2. Hopefully you enjoyed part 1. Let's get into it right away. Number 1, this is a really important one for me, and it's a really important one. I think it should be an important one for everyone as we move forward and cruising becomes more and more popular because we all love cruising, and that is learn as much as you can about cruising and cruise culture. So one of the things that we're seeing a lot of in the past few months, past few years, is that maybe the behavior isn't always up to par on cruises or any vacations really. But what we really want to kind of keep an eye out for here is behavior used to be great, and then it kind of was localized to a specific set of cruises, and now it seems to be becoming pervasive. There are some rules. There are not many rules when you're on vacation, especially on a cruise. Number 1 rule is to have fun, right? And the number 2 rule should be not to impact anybody else's having of a good time or encroaching on their ability to have fun. And nobody wants to be a buzzkill, and I think that's why we have some fights and we have some issues. So I think if you just kind of do a lot of research, figure out what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, and let's all kind of work together to stick within those rules. There aren't many, like I said, you can't blast music in the hallways, right? You can't be disruptive to other people. You shouldn't be chair hogging. It's basic stuff. Wearing the right clothes, just being a good fellow passenger for people. So keep an eye out for cruise culture. Learn as much as you can and kind of help each other to all stay on the right path. Next up, plan your excursions. Plan all of your things in advance. And one of the great things about excursions and drink packages and all these different things that you can add onto your cruises, there's really no set time or price to buy them, with a lot of the cruise lines now moving to dynamic pricing, which means prices go up, they go down. They're based on supply and demand on your particular sailing. You can purchase things, and then if you see a better price, you could just cancel and then rebook it at the better price. So the kind of rule of thumb here is to just book it. If you see something and you know you're going to get it, just book it. You can always cancel it. You can always rebook it at a lower rate. And especially with excursions, a lot of those could sell out, whether you're booking your excursions through the cruise line or via a third party like Viator Resort for a Day. We'll do a whole nother video on that. But whatever you're doing, if you know you're going to do something, book it. It's better than not being able to get it at a later time, specifically if you want to do a fancy dinner like Empire Supper Club or Chef's Table or something like that. Make sure you get those things booked so you don't miss out on your adventure. Next up, let's talk about documentation that you need. It's the question that I get asked probably the most as a travel agent. Do I need a passport to travel? And it's a slightly more complicated issue and question than that. One, if you are leaving on what is considered a closed loop cruise, which means you're starting in the United States and you're ending in the United States, if you are a US citizen, you technically don't need a passport. You can travel with your driver's license or your real ID and your original raised seal birth certificate. Now, I don't know a ton of people that have their original raised seal birth certificate like right on hand, and you want to take that with you when you're traveling or going places. So in my opinion, it is just better to have a passport. It's easier, it doesn't cost a lot, it doesn't take a long time to get them anymore. You can apply for your passport online. It's very simple now, it lasts for 10 years. Get yourself a passport. And if you're leaving from any other port, like San Juan, like the European or Mediterranean cruises or anything like that, you are going to need a passport. So it's just better to have a passport. They're easier to carry. You need less paperwork. That's my advice to everyone, is to have your passport. Next up, learn all the secrets to cruise packing. Packing for a cruise is unlike other destination packing. So look, there are specific situations. If you're going to Alaska, you're going to need some specific clothing, right? You're going to need a poncho. You're going to need maybe some layers, some wool things, so you could take some layers off if it gets warm, but you're going to a cold place. If you're going to Iceland or Norway, of course you're going to need to pack certain things. Let's talk about the standard Caribbean cruise, Bahamas, Bermuda, all of those things that you would do in nice weather. Less is more. What you're going to realize when you go on your first cruise is you're going to have all these options and all these items that you bring. And some people love to change. Look, some people love to bring super nice outfits. Some people love to bring costumes for all the theme nights. This isn't for you. Live your best life. Pack whatever you feel happy packing. If you want to carry 3 big bags and drop them off, it's totally fine. I'm going with the people who aren't sure of what they need to bring and would prefer not to bring a ton of things. So what you're going to find is you really need something to wear during the day. And if you're a pool person or somebody that likes to hang out at the on the pool deck or the sun deck, you're going to need a bathing suit, a cover up, whatever you need for that. You don't need any towels or anything like that, so don't worry about that. They're provided for you on the ship. And then you're going to need something to wear in the evening. So you, generally speaking, don't want to wear shorts at night. Most of your restaurants are going to require you to wear some type of pants. Obviously, if you're just going to the buffet or doing something like that, you can wear shorts. You just can't wear bathing suits in there, specifically wet bathing suits as well. So for me, it's generally something to wear during the day, something to wear at night. And I think what you're going to find also is you don't need a lot of shoe options. You might need flip-flops or something to wear during the day if you wear Crocs. God forbid. I'm not a proponent of Crocs. But again, live your best life. If you like Crocs, I get it. It's fine. It's fine. Flip-flops, slides, whatever you need to wear during the day, sandals, some type of comfortable walking shoe if you go out into the ports and you're walking around. So whatever is comfortable walking shoes for you, and then night apparel. So if you want to look nice at night and you want to wear heels, or you want to wear, if guys want to wear nicer shoes at night, that should be really all you need. I know a lot of people love shoes and love to bring, I see people getting on. I used to be a big shoe guy, right? I used to be a lot of Jordans and Dunks and all these other things, and you have different color. I get it. If that's your jam, let it be your jam. Live your best life. Again, have fun with it. If you want to bring 10 pairs of some type of Jordans or Dunks or something, Yeezys, whatever you're into, go for it. But again, you don't need those things if you want to be kind of compact and minimal. I go on a 7-day cruise with a carry-on. I know everybody can't do that, but for me it works great. I bring a carry-on bag, one of the regulation carry-ons that go into the overhead compartment, and I can fit all of my clothes for a 7-day cruise in there, along with some other stuff. And then I bring a backpack for my camera stuff and my laptop, etc. That's it. Don't overpack if you don't want to. If you're traveling, less is more. Enjoy yourself. It's less to stress over if anything gets lost anyway. One more quick note on your passport. It has to be good for 6 months after your travel date, so just keep that in mind as we go through the rest of everything. Your passport does have to be good for 6 months, so remember to renew that if you need to. Next up, I can't recommend it anymore. I go on and on and on and on about it, and yet nobody, I would say 90% of my clients don't book travel insurance. Travel insurance is one of those things that you don't need it until you need it. Here's the thing. If anything happens while you're at sea, while you're on the ship, your health insurance does not cover that. Just doesn't. You're going to have to pay out of pocket. So having travel insurance will help you with that. Also, if you are going to somewhere outside of the US, the Bahamas, Bermuda, if you're going to Mexico, if you're going anywhere like that, your health insurance is not going to be covered. They're going to expect some type of cash payment. This is why having travel insurance is so important. Also, and the most critical thing for me, is if you need to be medevaced off the ship for any reason, the Coast Guard comes, has to medevac you off the ship, that is a few $100,000. That is covered in your, you have to look at your policies, get the right insurance. That should be covered up to $250,000. Some cover up to $500,000. Also, the other biggest things with your travel insurance is if you are somewhere else and you need to get back to the United States, if you're in Italy or in Spain or Mexico or anywhere, and you don't want to have a heart surgery there or be treated there, you can be flown, repatriated to the US through that as well, and that will be covered. So keep that in mind. And then the other thing to keep in mind is if anything goes wrong with your vacation, if you miss a port, if you miss your flight for any reason, if something happens that's outside of your control, not negligence. If someone in your family gets sick that you're a primary caretaker for, you'll be able to recoup some money for that pre-cruise. If something happens while you're on vacation, if God forbid somebody in your family gets hurt or injured or passes away, you can use your travel insurance to get back home and make sure everything's all right. Things to keep in mind. You could also purchase cancel for any reason insurance. I don't recommend that a lot unless you have a feeling you might not go on this trip. And with cancel for any reason, up to 48 hours before 48 hours before your trip, you can just say, I don't want to go. And you're going to get a chunk of your money back. You're never going to get all of your money back, but you will get some of it back. I cannot recommend travel insurance anymore. God forbid anything happens on your trip, it's going to cost you more than the travel insurance. And you can only kind of roll the dice so many times before. If you go on a lot of trips, something may happen. You might get sick. You might need an IV. Anything. Could be something really simple. So really think about it. Get a quote from travel insurance from your travel agent or anyone you know. Next up, please, please, please understand when you go on a cruise, your safety and the safety of the crew are the most important thing to the cruise line. We all think it's profits. God knows they're making a lot of money. God knows they keep making changes to make more money. But at the end of it, your safety is the most important thing. If a bunch of people go missing on a cruise, or if they sail into a hurricane and something happens, no one's going to cruise again. So the cruise line wants to make sure you're safe. That means during hurricane season or any time of the year. For instance, right now we're moving into the heart of hurricane season. So I see everybody in the Facebook group for my cruise complaining about we might have to go to Canada or we might have to go to a different destination. These things happen. Understand that your itinerary can change at any time because of weather, because of strife in that country, whatever it may be. Could be high winds, you're just going to skip a port. It stinks, I know it stinks, but that is life and it's better to be safe than sorry. And also, if you have travel insurance, you'll get some money back. So it's not the best, it's not the most ideal situation, but this happens during hurricane season. You should be aware of that. Things happen. Understand that. Next up, if you are bringing things with you, remember, for most cruise lines, you're not allowed to smuggle alcohol or drugs. No marijuana, no alcohol. Some cruise lines, you could bring a bottle or two of wine. They should be in your carry-on. They should be closed. There are a lot of people out there that will tell you there are tricks and tips to sneak alcohol on board. In my opinion, it's just not worth it. You can do whatever makes you happy, but in my opinion, it's not worth getting caught, getting denied boarding, or banned for life from a cruise line for some silly reason like that. Next up, only certain power supplies are allowed now. You can't bring a power strip like a surge suppressor. Those are not allowed. You can't bring anything that has multiple plugs on it. So if something has multiple kind of plugs on it, you can't bring those anymore. You can bring one thing that plugs into the wall that has multiple USB ports on it. So a lot of the rooms, if you go on an older ship, aren't going to have a ton of USB ports if they have them at all. Some new ships only have 1 or 2 or maybe 3 USB ports. So it's always better to bring something that has multiple USB ports, C, A on them. So you are good to go with that. You can also bring something if you bring your laptop. You could bring some type of like a USB extender like this for your laptop, then you could charge things on there. But for the most part, I recommend, I used to have it right next to me here, but I recommend bringing something that has multiple USB ports on it, and you could be good to go that way and make sure all your cameras, your phones, your watches, all the devices we have now are covered. Next up, make sure you keep your medications in your carry-on bag. This is a tip that we'll go through again when we talk about like things to do the day before your cruise, week before your cruise. Make sure your medication is in the proper containers in your carry-on so that it doesn't get taken on the ship. In case you need something for any reason, medication should remain in your carry-on. Next up, have a plan for communicating with the outside world or the people you're traveling with. Think of that ahead of time. Some cruise lines will allow you to message people within their app. In my opinion and in my experience, it is not super effective for the most part. So keep in mind, if you have people at home that you need to check in on, or you have family on board that you want to keep an eye on, you're going to need to purchase an internet package, whether you purchase that from the ship or the cruise line, or now there are some of your kind of like Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, all those are starting to offer services while you're at sea. You are going to need something like that if you want to communicate with people back home. There are generally a few different packages like streaming or non-streaming, so you can keep it kind of budget if necessary, but keep in mind you will need something if you want to communicate with people off the ship. You can also make a phone call from the ship on the ship phone, but that is very expensive. It's probably better off just buying the internet packet. A few more things. Go to Amazon and just search in cruise tips and tricks, cruise fun things, anything like that, cruise accessories. There are a lot of great YouTube channels that go through accessories. Ilana from Lifewell Cruise is one of them. She does a lot of reviews. She probably has an Amazon store that you can check out for her. That'd be great because then she will get credit for those things. But check out those things. There are a ton of fun things. Remember, your rooms are all, generally speaking, some type of metal, like aluminum or something, and they're all magnetic. So you can get magnets that stick. I have these little clip-on ones. There's also hooks that you can get if you need more space to hang things or to put things up. Just also be careful. When you're using these things, be gentle with them. Don't scratch up the walls. If you're sticking something, don't drag it on the walls, right? Just keep those things in mind. But look online, there are tons of little cruise accessories that you can get, and they're usually all approved, especially if you go to someone like Alana's YouTube page. She will have some recommendations for you, and they're all things that are cruise line approved for you to purchase and bring with you. In your search for those things, one of the things that will come up is, will I get seasick? And remedies for seasickness. I can't tell you whether or not you're going to get seasick on a cruise. I get seasick on small ships, small little boats, like a ferry I get seasick on. I do get motion sickness on rides, and if I sit in the back of the car and try to like read, can't do it. And I will tell you, in my 80-some cruises, I've only had about 7 or 8 days where I've gotten sick. So that's 300 and some days at sea, whatever it is now for me. And I've only been sick about a week of those. So it does happen. Things happen where you may not react well. Keep in mind, there are a lot of remedies for this. You obviously are going to read all about them. Ginger candies, green apples. The biggest things for me are to stay hydrated and to keep stuff in your stomach. Whether it's crackers, rice, whatever you want to do. That seems to work the best for me. And then I use the bands, just the regular like $4 or $5 bands that kind of do pressure points. I don't know if they work or not. It works in my brain, and that helps. Whether it's placebo treatment or not, I don't know. They also have ones that are electric that are expensive that kind of ding that pressure point. I don't know if those work. But if you need medication, talk to your doctor. You can buy Dramamine, non-drowsy or drowsy. And they also, you can get a prescription for meclizine, which is the active drug in Dramamine, which will help you, and Bonine, things like that. That will help you if you are feeling nauseous. Those are antiverts, so they will help you with your nauseousness. I've heard that people use Zofran as well. Zofran technically shouldn't work, but for some reason, for some people it does. So check those out. Talk to your doctor before you make any decisions. And of course, you could buy just Bonine or Dramamine over the counter. A few more things here that we want to cover in this part 2. Next one is, what the heck are cruise ducks? You're going to hear all about those. People buy these little rubber duckies and they hide them around the ship. I don't know how this started. I don't know why people do this, but it seems to be fun. I understand, this kind of gets into Disney adult territory here, but I get it for kids. Kids are looking for the cruise ducks. They find them, they collect them. I don't know why adults do this. I guess it's fun. I guess it's fun to find ducks. I don't know. But here's the thing with the cruise ducks. Please be respectful of the cruise ship that you're on. Royal Caribbean recently banned this in Central Park on the Oasis class ships because people were ruining the plants by digging through them looking for ducks. So put them in places where they can be easily found. Kids are looking for these. They shouldn't be hidden. They should just be out of the view. So it's a little kind of a fun game to try to find them. And be respectful of your cruise ship and the other people around. Don't use glue or anything. I've seen people glue them to things. What are we doing? But it is a fun little thing. If you enjoy your ducks, go for it. Next up, let's get into, I think, 2 more things we have left here. Yep, 2 more. Number 1 of our last 2 here is make sure you pick the right cabin and location. I was going to talk about this in number 1, but I figured save it till number 2 to have a big item here. Where you are on the cruise ship can affect a lot of things. It can affect whether or not you get seasick or you feel the motion. If you are afraid of being seasick, you want to be closer to the middle of the ship, try to stay lower. You don't feel as much motion. Remember, when you're looking at a cruise ship, it's kind of this straight, kind of long thing. If you are in the middle and the ship is going side to side, you're not getting a lot of movement. To me, the more damaging one, side to side, is actually not terrible. It's kind of like a rocking motion. Kind of feels nice if you go to sleep. To me, the more damaging one is the up and down, the pitching of the ship. And if that happens, that's when I generally get sick. And again, if you're in the middle low, you're going to be affected the least. If you're in the front, for some reason, for me, the front is the worst. The back is okay. The middle is awesome. And then other things to consider when you're picking your location, your cabin, where you're going to be. I always like to be somewhere between whatever the destinations are here and the top destinations like the pool deck, the buffet, all of those type of things. So if it's a 20 deck ship, I tend to like to be somewhere between 9 and 13. Again, staying low enough, but I don't want to walk, or generally I walk a lot, so I don't want to go up 15, 20 floors to get somewhere, even if you're taking the elevator. So I try to stay centrally located there. And the other things you want to look out for is what is above you, what is below you. You don't want to be right above the nightclub, right below the nightclub, right below the pool deck. It's going to be noisy there, right below something where there's a lot of things going on at night, like the theater or the aqua theater, things like that. So those are things to keep in mind when you're picking your cabin and location. Also a great reason to use a travel agent. They're going to kind of advise you of what the best spots to be are on these ships, and they're really going to help you out with that. So again, my recommendation, call a travel agent. They'll help you. They'll point you in the right direction, and it doesn't cost you a penny. Last but not least, the biggest thing for me is to pack your patience. First day, the last day, things are going to be a little stressful. Everybody's trying to jockey to get on the ship. Everybody's super excited to start vacation. I find this is where a lot of arguments are. It's where a lot of pushing and shoving, people getting aggravated. Everybody's getting on the ship. Everybody's getting on the ship pretty quickly. Sometime between 11:30 a.m. and 1 p.m., 90% of the people get on the ship. And you have your stragglers. So if you're in that time frame there, relax. You're going to get on the ship within an hour. It doesn't take forever, 99.9% of the time. Same thing getting off the ship the last day. Everybody, for some reason, everybody's excited to end their vacation. I can't figure out why, unless you booked a flight early, which you should not do. That'll be our little going away gift for you, our little bonus tip. You have to be out of your room by 8 o'clock. I get it. So I don't know why people are lined up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get off the ship. Ships generally don't open until about 7. The door's 7, sometime around 7 a.m. And if you just wait till 7 a.m., most of the time you can just walk off. But instead, people are down there at 6 o'clock in the morning, and people start getting aggravated. Why can't we get off yet? What's going on? What's the deal? Why aren't they making announcements? Pack your patience. And all of the in-between, getting into different venues. Sometimes things get bottlenecked. It's okay. You're going to get in. Relax. So pack your patience. Enjoy yourself. And our last bonus tip, do not book a flight before noon on the day you get off the ship. I see it all the time. I see people trying to shove their way out at 8 a.m. because I have a 10 a.m. flight to catch. Get out of my way. That's a you problem. Chances are you're not going to make it to a 10 a.m. flight. If you have, again, we talked about it flying in the day of, if anything goes wrong, if somebody gets sick and you're late getting back to port, if customs isn't on time or they find something, they have to clear something, you're not going to make your flight. Book your flight from 12 o'clock in the afternoon on, you're good to go. Worst case scenario, You have to sit at the airport for 2 hours. It's fine. We're all adults. Read a book, watch a video. It's fine. Or better yet, and this is what I've learned to do now, I used to get off the ship at whatever time, go to the airport and just sit there all day. I don't do that anymore. So here's what I do now, especially in Miami, Port Canaveral, places like that. Port Canaveral is a little different. You have an hour ride to the airport. So in Miami, when I get off the ship now at 7:30 in the morning, I get an Uber out of the port and I go have breakfast. And I sit down until like maybe 9, 10 o'clock. I'll have some coffee, I'll relax, I'll play around on my phone. And then around 10 o'clock, I can do one of two things. Depends what time my flight is. If I have an early flight, like 12:30, which is kind of difficult, I go to the airport. If I have a 2 o'clock flight, I might go to a hotel, drop my bags off, say, hey, can you guys watch my bags for a little bit? I might pay 20 bucks for that. There's a lot of like hotel for a day, those type of things where you can drop your bag, go take a shower, get freshened up. Look for those type of things. Or just have the hotel hold your bags and go do something fun in that city. Relax, enjoy yourself, and then go to the airport when you're ready. Those are the rest of our tips for our beginner's guide to cruising. Next up, we're going to do our next video tomorrow. We're going to keep it going here with our kind of start here playlist that we're doing. Next up, we're going to do how to choose the right cruise line. And that'll be the right cruise line, the right cruise ship, all of those things. After that, we're going to do the cabin and deck guide, all the things that we started talking about. We're going to keep this going. Thanks so much for watching. There is a playlist below that you can follow along, come along with us. And again, if you have any questions at all, shoot me an email, jp@bytesizecruises.com. I'm happy to answer all your questions. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day and happy cruising. Bye.